Namaste everyone. Hope all of you are well. In this pandemic condition, you have seen all over the world this disease is running. But in this condition, how should we prepare for IIT JE, NEET, mains and advanced level of IIT JE? So I thought that I should give daily practice problem video. As we have completed the chapter called chemical bonding, and now I started giving the daily practice problem to the students, and I give solutions in the online class. But then also some of the students understand while the taking of online class, but what happens when they get off from the online class, they forget the answer, what were the concept. So that's why I thought that I should make the videos of this daily practice problem. As I will make the video of this practice problem, definitely they will remember. If they have forgot the concept, they can just rewind the video, they can see the answer, and whatever the concept I have explained, they can have in their mind. So let's begin with the daily practice problem 1, chemical bonding chapter. You can see the first question. The first question is, the combinations of two atoms take place so that the combinations of two atoms take place so that option A is they can gain 2 electrons in the outermost cell, they can gain 8 electrons in the outermost cell, they get 18 electrons in the outermost cell, and the C1 is they acquire stability by lowering of energy. Everybody will tell, sir, many answers are right. Definitely you will say that yes sir, hydrogen tends to get 2 electrons in their outermost cell, so it will become stable and the combinations of 2 atoms will take place. Second thing, you will say, sir, maximum elements complete their octets, some of the D block elements complete their 18 electrons in their outermost cell. Now question is from why chemical bonding occurs and how chemical bonding occurs. Why chemical bonding occurs? Now you can see here. Why chemical bonding occurs? The question is about that. The combinations of atoms take place so that combinations of atoms take place. Why combinations and how combinations of it? Yes, they will get their duet, they will get their octet, they will get their 18 electrons in their outermost cell. But why and when? When the two atoms acquire their stability by lowering their energy. Means if I talk about the sodium chloride or any other compound, if I talk about hydrogen and hydrogen only, I have said you about the overlapping. When this overlapping will occur, when the energy of both the hydrogen atoms will acquire the lowering, then they both will combine to each other and the hydrogen bond is possible. Yes, related to that all the 3 answers, but the right answer is they acquire stability by lowering their energy. As they lower their energy, then definitely there will be a stability of bonds, a stability of molecules when the 2 atoms combine to form it. Got it? Now the second question is, an ionic bond A plus and B minus, A plus and B minus is most likely to be formed when an ionic bond is formed. Just suppose I want to set you about the ionic bond called sodium chloride, NaCl, you know very well, Na plus and Cl minus. So now when it will be formed? Here the questions are, the ionization energy of cation is high and the electron affinity of anion is low. The ionization energy of cation is high. Means the question wants to say you that if I talk about the sodium plus, then sodium plus will have a high ionization energy and Cl minus will have low ionization energy. Not possible. Here just remember, the ionization potential must be low and the electron affinity, or you can say the electron gain enthalpy should be high. So by lowering their energy, as the cation lose its electron very easily, so the ionization energy must be low. Let's see the option number 2. The ionization energy of A is low. A means cation and the electron affinity of B is high. Yes, this is the probability when an ionic bond is formed. Option C, the ionization energy of A and the electron affinity of B is high. means both ionization energy also and electron affinity both will be high, then there will be not formation of ionic bond or any bond. The ionization energy of A and the electron affinity of B is low, means both it will be low, then very difficultly a bond will be formed. So the right answer is option B, when the cation ionization energy will be low and anion electron affinity will be high. So as you have seen both the questions, if you want to write these questions in your answer sheet that why they should be, as I have explained you, according to that you can write it. Now let's move toward the question number 3. here the question number 3, question number 4 and question number 5. I have written on the board. As you can see here the questions. Now let me explain the answers of these questions. So first of all, you can see the question number 3, question number 4 and question number 5 as I have written also. Question number 3 is, which of the following compounds elements in group 4 is expected to be most ionic? Expected to be most ionic. Question is, which of the following compounds of the elements in group 4? Group 4 elements, what are there? Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. So here lead, carbon and silicon, they are group 4th element. And you can see chlorides are there. PbCl2 is there, PbCl4 is there, carbon tetrachloride, silicon tetrachloride. As you have learned about that when we move from top to bottom in a group, metallic character increases. Question is about most ionic. For most ionic, what do we require? We require a cationic. Cation means metal. Metal can give cation. So most ionic means maximum metallic character. As we move from top to bottom in a group, as we have learned in the chapter 3, period classification of periodic table. So we have learned about, as we move from top to bottom, we can see that the metallic character increases. So here it is a non-metal. So remember, these two are the most metallic. Now in these two, lead chloride and lead dichloride and lead tetrachloride. Now question is about which will be the most ionic, PbCl2 or PbCl4. For the most ionic compound, what I have told you, that if, just suppose here, in the Pb plus 2, here the lead is in the plus 2 oxidation state and here lead is in the plus 4 oxidation state. Most ionic means, what does the word or term explain about the most ionic? Most ionic means in the last cell, if anybody will ask you which is the more stable, Pb plus 2 or Pb plus 4, and which is the most ionic, PbCl2 or PbCl4. Here the right answer is lead chloride. Why? Because you know very well, here the lead is only removing the p orientations, and in this lead already the d orbital, f orbitals are involved. So if it removes only 2 electrons from the p orbital and involve lead chloride, but if I talk about the PbCl4, then the lead inner s electrons has to be also removed. So since s is very nearby nucleus, so it can't be removed easily. So the most ionic compound will be PbCl2, not PbCl4. Got it? You know very well, lead means what? Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin, lead. The atomic number of 6, 14, 31, 32, 50 and 82. In this 82, you know Ns2, Np2 general electronic configuration is there. So here 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th period lead element is there. 6th period. 6th period means in the 6th period, here s orbital is there. After the s, d orbital is there. Sorry, f orbital. N minus 2 f 14 will be there. N minus 1 d0 to 1 will be there, and then Np2. So here you can see, if it has to remove this s electron, then it's very difficult to remove. So the most ionic will be, only we can remove the outer cell electron, that is Np2. As we remove this Np2 electrons, then there will be a formation of most ionic compound. Got it? And if you remove the 4 electrons, the question is from where you will remove the 4 electrons? From d electrons or f electrons or s electrons. So that's why here you can say that PbCl2 is the most ionic compound. Next question is, you can see here question number 4. In the question number 4, the compounds which contain ionic as well as covalent. Ionic character also and covalent character. You know very well, for an ionic we require metal and non-metal, and for covalent non-metal, non-metal is also possible, and means highly or lowly non-metal, negative, electronegative elements. Here, this is a pure covalent compound, pure covalent compound, pure covalent compound. Only one is ionic compound. Now question is ionic as well as covalent also. So here, if I talk about the potassium cyanide, it breaks into potassium plus and cyanide minus. So here you can see in this potassium cyanide, KCl is an ionic compound. But if I talk about the cyanide, so in the cyanide there is a covalent compound, formation of covalent compound. So that's why in this KCl there is ionic also and as well as covalent bond also. So you have seen here that which compound can contain ionic as well as covalent character. Next one is the hydration. What do you understand by hydration? Can you tell me? What is the meaning of hydration? Here you can see the next question. The hydration of ionic compounds involved. Hydration means reactions with water, hydrations involved. So as the ionic compound involves, as you put ionic compound in the water, hydration, you mix, then evolution of heat, definitely it will be there. Ionic compound as you involve inside the water, the evolution. Weakening of the attractive, definitely as they put any ionic compound into the aqueous solution, they break into cation and anion. Dissociation into anions, already I have told you well. Weakening of attraction means dissociation of ions, all of this. So the right answer will be fifth one, all of this. So remember how to solve the answers of this question. As I have said you about which of the following compounds, elements in group 4 will be most ionic. So remember the electronic configuration of lead. Then only you will be able to understand that PbCl2 or PbCl4. In this both which will be the most ionic. Next I have said you the compounds which contain ionic as well as covalent. So as you must remember what are the rules for understanding the ionic and covalent. And second thing, first of all you should understand which of the compound is covalent or ionic. And then in an ionic compound, is there any other molecule which contains covalent character or not? So that you can definitely decide here KCl is an ionic as well as covalent compound. And the next one was the hydration of ionic compound. So I hope that you have understand this third, fourth and fifth answer. Now we'll begin with the question number 6, 7 and 8. If you want to take a screenshot, then you can. Now we will begin with question number 6. In which of the following species the bonds are non-directional? Non-directional. In which of the following species? Question number 6. In which of the following species the bonds are non-directional? Here the 4 options are given. NCl3, nitrogen trichloride. Second option is RBCl, rubidium chloride. BeCl2, beryllium chloride, and the last option is boron trichloride, BeCl3. Can you tell me which will be the right answer? Bonds are non-directional. Non-directional means what? Can you tell me? What is the meaning of non-directional? Which are not in the direction, right? The bonds are non-directional. Which of the following species the bonds are non-directional? So here you can see for the non-directional NCl3, both nitrogen is a second period element and chlorine is a third period element. If I talk about the rubidium chloride, the rubidium cation size is very large and anion size is small. Means this is the fifth period element and this is the third period. Beryllium chloride, second period, third period. Boron trichloride, second period. You know very well this is the linear structure. This is triangular planar structure. This is tetrahedral structure. Now, if I talk about non-directional means what is here? The ionic character means rubidium is having a very large cation, and chlorine is small anion, right? So now tell me, where will be the non-directional one? Because here the cation is very high and anion is small, so definitely it is going to be a non-directional, right? So the right answer will be rubidium chloride. Next one is which of the following compounds contains both ionic and covalent compound? Very nice question. Here you have to do the conclusion of ionic as well as covalent compounds, and that compounds, one thing that I want to say you is how to understand the questions are having more than one answer or two answer or three answer or four answers. How you will understand that? It's very necessary to understand that in the competitive level exams, especially like if I talk about JAM, IIT, JE, in which they are asking in more than one answers can be asked. So here the question is about in which of the following species the bonds are non-directional, question number 6. Now which of the following compounds contains both ionic as well as covalent? Means here ionic and covalent, both the compounds are given. Which of the following compounds contain ionic as well as covalent? Option A is ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. Option B is potassium cyanide. Copper sulfate, CuSO4 into 5H2O. And the last option is sodium hydroxide. Question is which of the following compounds having both ionic and covalent? Both ionic and covalent. Ionic bond, ionic bond, ionic bond, ionic bond. You know very well. NH4 plus Cl minus, K plus Cl minus, CuSO4 will break down into the two parts. Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus into 5H2O, Na plus and OH minus. Ionic compound. Now covalent character also, as I have told you here, the cyanide is having covalent character. Ammonia plus hydrochloric acid, ammonium plus covalent character. Water is attached with it, copper sulfate is ionic, water is here covalent character, and in the sodium hydroxide Na plus OH minus, and OH is having covalent character. So all the four are the right answer: ammonium chloride, potassium cyanide, copper sulfate, and sodium. So that's why whenever you see the question, that time you must have the knowledge about what the question is asking to you. Question says here, which of the following compounds, remember the word English, that's why the English knowledge is compulsory. If it would be in the question, which of the following compound is covalent and ionic, then there will be only one answer. But if there is a question about the compounds, so that time you must remember that more than one answer can be right. So here you have seen all the 4 answers are right. Now let's move towards the question number 8. Which has the lowest anion to cation size ratio? Lowest anion to cation size ratio. Lowest anion to cation size ratio. Got it? Which of the following has lowest? Which of the following? Which has the lowest anion to cation size ratio? Lithium fluoride. B is sodium fluoride. C is cesium iodide, and D is cesium. Lowest cation to anion. Lowest anion to cation means the anion size be small and cation size should be large. Then only there will be lowest anion to cation size ratio. Lowest anion to cation. Anion to cation. Remember the words. Whenever the question asks you, that then focus on the question. If you repeat 2-3 times question, then you understand what the question wants to say. Lowest anion to cation size ratio. Lowest anion to cation. Lithium is second period element. Fluorine is also second period. Not possible. Third period and second period. Not possible. Cesium and iodine. Both are. Cesium is Helena Safaria. 6th period and 5th period. Cation size is also very large and anion size is also very large. Cesium fluoride. Here you can see this is the second period element and this is the 5th period element. So here anion size is very low and cation size is very high. The question was lowest anion to cation. Anion has the lowest, cation will be the maximum. So the right answer will be option D. What will be the right option? D. Why? Because the cesium has a large atomic size and fluorine has a very small atomic size. So that's why the question was lowest anion to cation size ratio. The right answer will be cesium. Hope all of you are understanding the concepts. Now let's move toward the 9th and 10th question. Ninth question is, which of the following statement or statements are correct regarding ionic compound? Regarding ionic compound, which of the following statements are correct? Question number 9 is, you have to just approve which of the following statement for ionic compounds are correct. The first option is they are good conductor at room temperature in aqueous solution. Good conductor, definitely if they are ionic compound. In the ionic compound they have ions, so the ions will conduct electricity. So the ionic compounds are good conductor of electricity. They are generally soluble in polar solvent. You must remember the polar and nonpolar solvents. Polar and nonpolar covalent bond, especially if you understand, then it's very easy to understand the polar and nonpolar solvent. As I have told you, in which the dipole moment is 0, that will be non-polar, and any value will be there in a covalent compound which is having dipole momentum value, that are polar compounds. So here now polar solvent and non-polar solvent. Question is generally soluble. As if I talk about the water also, water is non-polar solvent. Sorry, water is polar solvent, not non-polar, because you know very well here the oxygen has 2 lone pair electrons, so it is a polar solvent. And now if you dissolve ionic compound into the water, so what will be there? They are soluble or not? Definitely, all the ionic compounds will dissociate into cation and ion in the aqueous solution. Third one, they consist of ion. Ionic compounds are there, definitely they will consisting of ions. And the last one, they generally have a high melting and boiling point. Metals are having generally high melting point and boiling point. So ionic compound contains metal and non-metal. So definitely all the four answers are right. First one was first one, they are good conductors. Second, they are soluble in polar solvents. Third, they consist of iron. And fourth one, they generally have a high melting point. All the four options are right for ionic. So that was the 9th. 10th one, a bond formed between two like atoms cannot be. Two like atoms. That was the ionic compound characteristics in the 9th question. Ionic compounds characteristics. So all the answers are right, as I already have explained to you. Now in the 10th, the question is, a bond formed between two like atoms cannot be. Two like atoms cannot be ionic. B1 is covalent. Covalent, coordinate and metallic. Covalent, coordinate and metallic. See, first of all, you should remember, ionic bond is formed between the two different atoms. One is cationic, that is called metal, and another is non-metal. You know very well. So these both are two different elements. Question is, a bond formed between two like atoms cannot be. Two like atoms cannot be ionic. Two like atoms cannot be ionic. If I talk about Cl, they both are like atoms. Cl2 is not an ionic compound. Remember, Na2 is also not an ionic compound. Remember, for an ionic compound, it must have two dissimilar atoms. Covalent, yes, two nonmetals can form covalent bond. One lone pair must be there in any non-metal coordinate bond. Metal, two similar metal can form a metal. So only two same type of atoms cannot form ionic compound. Remember. So this was our 10th question. Hope all of you are understanding. If you are not having the question paper, I will attach all the questions in the descriptions. You can go through the description. In the descriptions, all the questions I will tell you with the answers. The right answers will be ticked, and already the answers have been sent to you, so you can go through that also. But then also, if you are not having the answer, then I will just put into the description box. Just open the description box. You will get all the questions also and all the answers also. Till the 10th, I hope all of you understand. Now let's move. There are total 33 questions are there, so it's very easy to elaborate. Don't worry. Now we will move towards the question number 11. So now in question number 11 asks to you that which of the following when dissolved in water forms a solution which is non-conductivity. Non-conductivity. What is the meaning of non-conductivity? It must not be an ionic compound. Conductivity means it is an ionic compound, and non-conductivity means it is a covalent compound. So just find green vitriol FeSO4 into 7H2O. We'll just remember FeSO4 into 7H2O. Green vitriol is an ionic compound. Indian salt, petrol means NaNO3 sodium nitrate. Here also alcohol C2H5OH ethanol. Yes, it is an organic compound. Organic compounds do not conduct electricity. So here the question was, which of the following when dissolved in water forms a solution? Yes. Alcohol is when dissolved in water, it can form a solution. It can mix in water, so definitely alcohol will form a solution, but it is non-conductor. It is non-conductive. The potassium aluminum sulfate is also an ionic ionic compound, so it will give, so A, B and D options will give you an ionic solutions which conduct electricity, and C, alcohol is an organic compound which do not conduct electricity. Most ionic compounds have high melting point and low boiling point. No. All the ionic compounds have high melting point and high boiling point. High solubilities in polar solution, high solubilities in polar and low solubilities, right? So all the ionic compounds can be dissolved in polar solvent and non-polar solvent also, but the dissolvability power will be low in non-polar and high will be in polar. High melting points are non-directional bond. Non-directional bond. Non-directional. Yes, they will have high melting point. That's true. Non-directional bonds. That is also true. Now, three-dimensional network structures and are good conductors of electricity. They are definitely a good conductors of electricity because it has ions, and there are three-dimensional network structures also, and it is in the molten state that you can do. So here B, C, and D. Three options are right. So just whenever you attempt a question, that time you must have what will be the answer. Okay. Now we are moving toward the question number 13. Which of the following contains electrovalent and non-polar, means covalent bonds? Electrovalent and non-polar covalent bonds. Electrovalent and non-polar covalent bonds. Question number 13. Which of the following contains electrovalent and non-polar bond? Right? Options are methane, hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. C option is ammonium chloride, and last option is hydrogen cyanide, HC. Can you tell me which will be the right answer? It's very easy. See, methane, electrovalent not possible. Yeah, non-polar covalent bond is possible. Electrovalent not possible. H2O2, non-polar covalent bond possible. Electrovalent not possible. HCN, non-polar, not polar, and electrovalent. And ammonium chloride, this is electrovalent also and non-polar also. How? Because you know very well here when it breaks down ammonium chloride, electrovalent HCl mixed with ammonia, ammonium chloride is formed. So when it breaks down, ammonium plus, chloride minus. So here you can see the ammonium plus and chloride minus. So non-polar covalent bonds also an electrovalent compound also. So the right answer is option C. Question number 14. How many bonded electron pairs are present in IF7 or IF? How many bonded electron pairs are present in IF? IF7, you know very well. So there are total how many bonds, can you tell me? 7 bonds. No? Iodine has 7 valence electrons, so it will be connected with the 7 fluorine atoms. And the 15th one, which of the following have a strong covalent bond? Strong covalent bond. Chlorofluoride, fluorine, fluorine, F2, carbon chloride and carbon fluoride. Question is, which of the following has strong covalent bond? Strong covalent bond requires at least some cationic and ions, cation and anion. You know very well they both are electronegative. This lowly positive electropositive, highly electronegative. Both are highly electronegative. Carbon chloride and carbon fluoride. CCl here, yeah. C can have plus, C4 also and chlorine minus also. But if I talk about highly means maximum strong covalent bond. You can see here in the carbon and fluorine. Fluorine is the highest electronegative element, and carbon can be C4 plus also and C4 minus also. So remember, highly electropositive and highly electronegative. Now it can form a strong covalent bond. Both are non-metals, fluorine and carbon. But covalent bond means strong covalent bond and weak covalent. You will see the maximum difference of electronegativity is present in CF only. So remember, the highest strong covalent bond will be present in carbon fluoride. So this was the total 15 answer. In the next video I will explain from 16 to 33. Hope all of you have liked, and if you have not understand the concept, then please you can write your comments or you can tell me your doubts that sir I have not understand this. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Question number 16 to 33 will be explained in the next video. Thank you very much.